Let's get through just the kind of performance you've seen on the market over in Zambia so far this week, with it being, of course, halfway through this week.
Yes, we had an upbeat day yesterday. There were pretty good volumes coming through, with the index enjoying one of its best days in weeks. Actually, the index was up 0.97% to close at 3,727. Most of that gain came from Puma Energy, which was up a hefty 15.75% to close at 1,204 kwacha. Most of that can be attributed to the start of the mandatory offer, which actually started yesterday. So Puma Energy was snapping up all the offers that were on the market. Even Standard Chartered Bank, which actually has been the worst performer this year, enjoyed an uptick. Yesterday it was up 5% to close at 2 kwacha 10. Generally, the turnover has slightly gone up. Yesterday it was 1.4 billion kwacha, which was above the daily average. And in fact, we've seen a marked increase in turnover in some companies, especially Zambian, National Breweries and CEC, Copperbelt Energy Corporation.
Of course, CEC being one of the companies that's come through with its latest half-year report. Take us through what's actually come to the surface. What did you make of the numbers from that company?
Yeah, CEC had a good 6 months to 30th June 2012. Their revenue was up 31% to 673 billion. Their headline earnings per share for the period was up 62% from 34 kwacha 42 to 55 kwacha 75. In a statement, the company attributed most of this to 3 reasons. First of all, they said that there was an increase in volume consumption by mining companies, and also they had increased their tariffs. And then finally, they said that the depreciation of the kwacha actually helped with that. They declared the second dividend of 35 kwacha per share, which comes on top of the earlier dividend which they declared of 21 kwacha 12 earlier this year. So the total dividend yield is about 8%, making it one of the top paying dividend stocks on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, which isn't surprising why this year it has actually performed really well. I mean, it's up almost 6.9% year to date. It's one of the popular stocks. Going forward, the company is embarking on some projects because there's a lot of demand in power on the copper belt, so they want to satisfy that demand. And they're also embarking on a biomass project, which they hope to commence towards the end of the year. And also they're trying to increase their footprint in the telecom sector. So they've built a fiber optic cable, which they hope to use through Zimbabwe. So that should improve their bottom and top line going forward.
That offsetting some of the risk, and some of the risk coming to those 2 primary factors that you highlighted, Joseph. I mean, volume consumption by mining companies moving forward, with the global economy in a state of flux and very uncertain. One only anticipates that these mining companies will come under pressure moving forward, and then that leading to pressure being put on the second reason you cited in terms of the ability of a company like this to pass on higher tariffs.
Yes, exactly. I mean, obviously, there's a bit of pressure. I mean, okay, lately we have seen an uptick in the price of copper, and we've also seen an uptick in the production of copper, with the latest numbers from the Bank of Zambia showing that at least this year, we may actually hit the 1 million megatons in copper production. So obviously, these utility companies like Copperbelt Energy Corporation have to make sure that they meet the demand of the copper mines, which have seen the potential on the copper belt.
In the meantime, African Explosives, another company out with half-year numbers. Let's go through that and the investment case that a company like African Explosives puts on the table for you right now.
Yeah, African Explosives also had a good year. Their revenue was up 15% to 187 billion kwacha for the 6 months to 30th June 2012. Earnings per share was up from 141 kwacha 38 last 6 months to 332 kwacha 98. Like CEC, they gave the same reasons. The buoyant mining activity on the copper belt has been responsible for the good numbers. And in fact, like I mentioned, the Bank of Zambia has actually said that the production in copper is actually up for the year. So a company like African Explosives, which whose performance is related to the mining activity, is bound to do well with the increase in mining activity on the copper belt. The share price is at 3,402, down for the year about 14.9%, but we can see that it's a tightly held stock, and I think some buyers will be encouraged by the results, and they may want to start buying the stock again.